Mark and John, the Dad Podcast crew, sharing laughs, advice, and stories just for you. Mark and John, the dads you'll adore. Tune in for fun, there's always more. Parenting tips and some dad jokes too. Join the ride with Mark and John, it's all brand new. Mark and John, the dads you'll adore. Laughter and wisdom, come explore. So grab your headphones, don't miss the show. Mark and John, where good vibes flow.
Hello, good day, kia ora, and welcome back to the podcast, dads. I'm me, and he's him.
Hallelujah. All right, King? Oh.
No, it's supposed to be a joke, didn't start.
Was my singing not enough of a joke, no?
No, it's just a bit of walk out, man.
Oh, right, okay. Joke. What do you call a fly with no legs?
Was it? It's a fly with no wings. A fly with no wings.
I was trying to get a different one, you ruined
A fly
it.
with no legs is a wing. There's a fly in it.
A wing thing. A fly, what do you call a fly with no wings?
Well, I think we've killed the joke now.
A walk.
Like the one you used in Chinese restaurants. I'm walking out, that was terrible.
Oh, anyway. Right, let's get a bit deaf. What are we talking about again, Mark?
Right, on today's show, we're going to talk about becoming dads. So John and I are both dads, and I've got one, you've got three.
Yeah.
So my work's harder than your work.
Is it?
Alright.
How's that?
I don't know, I just said it was.
Well, my kids are a bit age gap between them all, so you've got to parent a bit different, but that's fine. So we want to talk about what it was like becoming dads ourselves without that father figure in our life and how it impacted us and how we managed to get through that time. Not through, but how we managed to live.
Well, because you've not had a dad, you've not had that influence. So you've not really had that, like influence in your life of what a dad's role was supposed to be. So we're trying to piece all that together and figure that out. So we're a kind of new dad, if you get, what I'm saying, like when I spoke about earlier about the waterfall, and we're having to start again. We don't know what it's like to be a dad. We don't know what a dad's role is, and we're just having to make it up. So,
Exactly.
So you tell me, your firstborn. So what age were you when you were your first?
I just turned 20.
Right.
I was you had a first kid pretty young. Kids ourselves almost. I mean, I've got a daughter that age just now, and I couldn't imagine her being a parent. But I'm pretty young. And as you said, it's not having that guidance and no having that support for your even in your own head, like how you do things. I mean, it's hard enough to be a parent. You know what I mean? You don't get a guidebook, and every kid's different, but it's made all that harder without that father figure in your life and like something to look up to and aspire to, and what you want to be like and how you can put your stamp on your kids and stuff like that.
So where were you living when your first was born?
We were staying with my wife's mother and father, parents. We lived together at my mother's place for a bit, and when my wife was expecting, we moved over to my wife's parents, and but that was only for a short spell. Luckily enough, we'd managed to get a council house, and we got our own place, and we set up home the best we could,
So how old was your daughter when you first set up home?
Oh, she was only months old.
So pretty early then.
Aye, a couple of months. Aye, maybe even. So it would have been April we moved in. So no, April. So she would have maybe only been 2 months or something. Aye, pretty young.
Right. So what was that like? Because that's a massive undertaking as well, isn't it? Is like, one, you're a new dad, but then you've got to set up a new house as well. Like especially your firstborn. Your firstborn is like, you've got to get a pram and like I know my wife, she wanted a certain type of pram and all this other gear and I don't know if it's not cars. I've no idea. I'm like, can you get new wheels for it? Can I go and get some new 18 inches and stuff like that? But
The pram? No, I totally get that. When it came to like support with the kind of stuff you needed, the cot and the pram and stuff like that, there was support there for family and parents and stuff like that. They kind of helped with that. Yeah, there's a lot of bit of support with that. But it's when people go away and you're kind of yourself and you've got to deal with this wee life and
that's right. That's it.
it's overwhelming, you know.
Aye, that's it. So like, because on top of that, you've got setting up a house. You know, you obviously got to put new carpets in and get it painted, and you know,
Well, that comes with it as well. And that's difficult as well. Like we did the things a wee bit backwards, but like that's the way life happens sometimes, isn't it? Like you got to roll with it, and I think that's the one thing I do manage to do well when faced with adversity. It's either sink or swim, and you've got a kind of can-do attitude. So I was kind of hoping we kind of seen it through, and we done best that we thought was best at the time.
I like the Oasis plug there. We've got to roll with it.
Aye, well they're coming out this year, and they'll go back together. So
I don't know. I said maybe.
I thought the joke
Look, John, don't look back in anger.
I can't think. I can't roll with the punches. Is that roll with it?
Cool.
Cool. No, so I know setting up home. I got had a wee bit of money behind us. Picked up a kind of cheap furniture and set up home. And I, as a dad, I did struggle with it. I just didn't know quite how much. Didn't really know what my role was, to be honest. It was just like, it's hard to kind of take it on board that this wee life is depending on you, and because all through the pregnancy as well, it just wasn't. I don't think it was pen and paper what was actually happening. It's just that.
Sorry, I laughed there because in my head I'm thinking like as a new dad, you know, like we don't know what to do. You know what I mean? It's like that thing you're picking up by the legs. Hello. You obviously well that's a joke. You can't do that. Like you can pick it up with it.
Oh, but
No, definitely. I'm literally kidding on. Like it's not. I'm joking because for me, my daughter was like the most delicate little thing in the world to me, and you're like as there's a saying, you wrap them in cotton wool, don't you? Like I had my daughter. My daughter was £5.5 when she was born, so she was like a tiny baby. She was like this size, and that's the size of my forearm, just in case you didn't see that in the camera. But she was literally like a tiny baby, and I'll never forget the drive home. So I got her in the car, and at the time I was young and a boy racer and all that crap, and I've got her in the car and got her bundled up and put her in there, and I'm driving at like the slowest speed that you could possibly drive, and anybody that came near me, I was like, get out of the way, oh move, oh you're getting too close to me, and you're panicking because you've got this little bundle, this little protective package, you know what I mean, that you and for me it was the overwhelming sense of protection that I had, you know, like because I mean we still have the instincts of animals, you know what I mean? Like in yard, I was like a big gorilla. Oh, you come near my daughter, and you know, and that doesn't actually go away for you as the older you get. You know, if anybody hurt your daughter, or you know, like my daughter still, that's it. I call her my princess. You know, she's still my princess even now. So. But you get that, you're like so protective of them. And I was talking to my mate Jason before he had his baby, and I said to him, I said, you wait. I said, your life changes completely. When you go from this immature boy to a man, like the click of a finger, like and your world completely changes, and then you've got this sense of responsibility, you know, and like I'm really glad I've got to see my daughter grown up, which I don't understand how, like, my dad didn't really want much involvement with us, you know, and that's, again, we'll come back to that as part of the show, as, you know, our feelings and stuff like that, but anyway, we'll go back to, so you've had your first daughter, and then, so age were you when you had your second?
25. So she was about 5 years between. So it was kind of the same time my youngest was going to school and stuff like that, and it just meant that it was a bit easier for like child support and stuff like that. And but I was a total different person. I was so much more ready. I mean, but I had obviously the experience my youngest, and yeah, I kind of knew what to expect, and I picked up good habits and stuff like that, and I don't know, but it was like easy transition. It was so it's breathing. I mean, it was that easy, like, in comparison, and even like as you were saying as well about like that protective and stuff like that. I was super overprotective as well, yeah, and just like if anybody came near it, you talk about cars, even people smoking, because like even then people were smoking over kids and stuff like that, which I can't understand as well, and some people would actually get offended when you say, "Can you move it the way? I don't want you smoking." And again, people are so selfish.
It's their ignorance, you know what I mean? And like, smokers are generally ignorant, you know, like you see most of them, they smoke in front of you, and, you know, like, and they just throw their litter all over the place. They don't really care. But again, that's a totally different topic. We're not touching that. I'm sorry to offend the smokers out there, but it's true.
Yeah, but no, but that really annoyed me. Like, people smoke all the kids and stuff like that, and sometimes as well, like, Mark, cause like I didn't stop, as you said. Even when my oldest daughter was getting older, like, I was still super protective, like a wee bit, like too much, I think. And I think it stems back from maybe like me not having that attention and not having that guidance. That I was the opposite. I was like super intense with them a wee bit, to the point where I was probably a wee bit suffocating a wee bit, if I'm being honest. And I kind of, my daughter's relationship now, it is better, but there was times where I can look back now. You talking about earlier about being in control, and I think I struggled with that, because I feel that for me, my role was to be in control and make sure everybody was all right, and almost think for everybody. And our relationship suffered a wee bit for that, because I was a wee bit overwhelming. Even I've got 3 kids now: Caitlin, Olivia, and Shay. And Caitlin, who's my oldest, she sees the relationship between me and Olivia, and me and Shay, and Caitlin and Olivia will talk, and they'll go, "Oh, Dad's like this," and Caitlin will say, "Oh, Dad's like this," and Olivia will be like, "Oh, he's no." But it is because that's what kind of person I was at the time, because I was like super overprotective. As you get older as well, you start to, like, we'd have things, if she fell or something like that, you're running her over, and and as the more kids you have as well, the more you get to realise how bad the cry is.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fine.
So with the first one, she falls and you're overprotective for a bit. When it's the third one, you get your camera phone out and start videoing it and laughing at it.
I get it online. No.
You fell.
I actually, and this may actually sound a bit crazy, but like, see if my kids get hurt, I'd get so uptight. I was like, I'd failed a wee bit. Like one daffy thing, Caitlin had got her fingers jammed in a door, like it isn't like a car door, and I was just over. I actually get to the point where I actually start like crying as well, because I'm so upset for them. I mean, I've actually relaxed a bit more as well, but again, it's no knowing, and you do become overprotective because you try to compensate, because you don't want your kids to feel what you felt like. You know what I mean?
And because it's all, like, again, it's all new to you, and it's that, you know, like, because there's that the first child, and then there's the middle child, and you know, and like I was the last, and you know what, like, cause I would have, like, this is just how I felt, that everything was second for you, because you got all the hand-me-downs, and it's not like, it's not until you get older and you have your own, you realise that it's obviously a financial thing, you know. I was like, oh, he got everything new, and or even at birthdays, he was new, he got a new, and then I got all the hand-me-downs, and you're like, when will I get something nice and new, you know? Like, I just get all the you know, the off-gas stuff, and, you know, the stuff that they don't want, or the stuff that doesn't fit them, and it's not until you realise that when you're in that situation, once you start understanding more, you're like, oh, I can understand it now, but kids will be kids, as we've said, you know.
And I completely agree with that, but at the same time as well, like we kind of don't actually appreciate how much kids can understand as well. Because see, when we do talk to them, like that's one thing I've done as a parent as well. I've actually always kept my kids involved in their decisions. No, actually they make the decision, but they were aware of what was going on and stuff like that. And so I maybe even like when we were younger, we had been given the opportunity to get spoken to and communicated. Because again, I always go back to it, like, but the big failing in relationships is communication, and sometimes as well we limit our kids as well to what they can understand and take on. But kids are smart, especially nowadays. Kids are super switched on. I mean,
Definitely. Especially with technology. Like remember we used to have to research stuff.
Or libraries and stuff.
Nowadays just YouTube's how you do anything, isn't it?
Aye, Google, aye.
So which is great, you know.
See your fingertips in it, and then you get this AI now as well, which is frightening as well. So
That's massively scary. The fact that they can almost imitate it. Oh, John and I are real, by the way. You feel that?
easy boy. Aye, no.
Date to me.
No, but yeah, that's scary. Like as you said, like without like again, I don't want to kind of badmouth social media, but it's crazy. Like they call it social media, but sometimes it's
anti-social media.
But social,
Because people spend, even when you get for like a meal and stuff like that, it's just everybody's on their phone and taking pictures of it and that. And, aye, no ideal. So your third. Tell us about the wee man.
So, just obviously getting my boy. I'd always kind of, I always there's a paper in Scotland. It was a daily record, and I used to always wind my wife up and say, I'll get the record because I've not got a son. I can't get this. Anyway, that was another joke. It was terrible.
Dreadful, man.
No, but no, I was over the moon to get a boy. Like I don't know. I love my girls, you know what I mean. But having my boy as well, and when you become a father again for the third time, obviously you get the experience of what's happened before and stuff like that. And again, talking about timing, you realise that they grow up so quick, man. They literally, in a switch, honestly, a switch, like switch, it's just a flick of a switch, sorry, they're grown up. I loved everything about being a father, everything, like looking after them, looking at their clothes, getting them fed, taking them here, taking them there. And when my older kids started to grow up and they started to do more and more for themselves, it is hard. But again, that's part of what you're trying to teach them. You're teaching them how to stand on their own 2 feet. Don't get it wrong, I loved it. So when it comes to like Olivia and Shay, Caitlin and Olivia and Shay, but more when it was going to Olivia and Shay, you're more aware of the time and how quickly they don't start doing anything.
It's weird because I look back at my life and it was like, I couldn't wait till I get a certain age so that I could start driving. And then I couldn't wait to get to another certain age so that I could get cheaper car insurance. And then, you want to try and get to these ages, and then once you get there, you're like, I still wish I was back then. I wish that time away, and then it's like, it's the same with kids, isn't it? You're like, I wish they were old enough to go and make me a cup of tea and stuff like that, and then before you know it, you wish they were being a baby, and you can, just hold them and give them a cuddle and all that. And it's true. You just wish all the time away, but it's not until it's there you wish you were back. And time goes too quick, especially. What my experience, John, is I worked and I worked, and I never seen my daughter awake. I never seen her eyes open, and I kind of missed the early stages, and it's a regret of mine because you fail to get that bonding. But I thought my duties as a dad was to make sure I've got money coming in, and one, like obviously living in poverty and stuff, and that was still real raw for me at the time. And I'm like, I just have to work all the time. I need to keep bringing money in and stuff like that, and you're always chasing money, and so I missed out in the most important years of my daughter's life, and like you never get it back, and it's just our advice and my advice is just lap it up, enjoy every single minute of it, like even when they're crying and you don't know what's going on, just enjoy it, because it doesn't last long. It really doesn't. It's like, it's in the blink of an eye. Like, we look at this, even just this year, John, like I feel like Christmas was yesterday, and it's not, it's almost Christmas already, depending when you're going to watch this, but the year, it just goes in so quick, and from a newborn to a year old's massively different, and like it just goes by in a blink of an eye, and you're like, where did it go? And just take it all in, enjoy every minute of it, because it doesn't last, and so, I mean, that's how you felt in it, because with your first to your third, you were like, you kind of let it run, and then we had a conversation, and you were saying, I'm just trying to enjoy,
as much
wee Shay as much as you can, and
100%, because I said that, like, it becomes a stage in their life where they do want to stand on themselves, and especially girls as well. Girls get a wee bit more independent quicker because of just their makeup and how their hormones and whatever else. But yeah, you need to, because I remember as well someone telling me as well, document everything, get everything on camera, because it does go so fast. And I remember thinking, it won't, but it does. Honestly, that 100% it does. You go to literally, as you say, lap up every minute, because it is. It's quick.
Frightening, isn't it? Because even I look at my daughter now, and she's 19. She'll be 20 next year, and I'm like, like it makes you feel old as well, and but like I'll be honest about it, like in time anyway, I'd look forward to having grandkids as well, so that you can then enjoy that little time, and so I'm here to see it, so.
No, you will be. 100%. Make sure it.
Will you? We got a day.
Be supportive for you here, and keep you excited, and.
Right. I just thought you were going to protect us for something. No.
No, but no. Sorry, I know. Let's go back a wee bit then. So, what about you? How was life like when you were expecting?
We were 18, 19. So we were really young. We were obviously younger than what my daughter is now. And at the time, I felt like I don't know if it's because of my experiences and where I just came from. I felt old. Like I felt that I knew everything at the time, And I'm like, well, I'd been lived myself, and then so we lived with Sandra's mum and dad, and for a little while, and then we bought our flat, and we moved in there, and at the same time, I had a bad knee injury. I had a dislocated knee playing football, and that was tough, It was great for me because I didn't have to do all the heavy lifting with all the furniture and stuff like that. But some people say I did it deliberately, but no, like so that was tough, we had a newborn, and Sandra and I were just working. So Samantha was going to preschool care and after school care as well. And they saw my daughter more than I did, you know, like, because, like, even when I had my knee injury, I couldn't really look after her, because I could hardly look after myself, you know what I mean? Like,
Struggle to walk and
well, I had a cast from the top of my hip to the bottom of my ankle, and so I couldn't really wear a shoe either. And, you know, so that was really tough. So I meant I couldn't even hold her. I had to be sitting or something like that. And yeah, so that was hard. And yeah, so
listen, you wouldn't have been the only one at that time. Like, people would have been struggling, and you're doing what you can to make ends meet. I mean, you've got that experience in the background with poverty as well. So you've got that in your mind. You need to try and provide. You don't want to be living how you've been living, and you didn't want your daughter living how you were living. So you're doing what you can. I mean, you were doing what you thought was right, even though it was tough. 100%. I mean, you're sacrificing that time because you wanted to provide. So at the same time, you're still being a good father.
so like, but so there's that old thing as well where, like, you know, like, when my daughter was born, I made that commitment that I'll be there for her always, you know, and so I'll always be there for her, and that will never leave. You know, I'll always be there. I didn't want to be the dad that I had. You know, I didn't want to be this like you, like I don't know. I still to this day don't really know anything about him, and I don't really go out my way to try and find out either, because I feel like a dad is your duty. You should want to be involved in your kid's life. You're the adult. You're the elder. Like it should be you that goes to them and speaks to them and makes the attempt. But that's just the way I see things. You know, maybe it's different for other people, and I don't know, different scenarios and stuff like that. But like, so I just wanted to be there. I wanted to see my daughter growing up and stuff, and you know, like I just watch her growing up every day, and like I love every minute of it. Like, you know, me and Sandra have been inseparable since we met, and that's pretty much still to the day. But Samantha's the same. Like, she's still always here, and you know, and when she's not here or she's not with us, if we went on holiday and she just didn't come with us, like we went to conference and we didn't bring her, and like you miss her for the whole time you're away, you know what I mean? You're like, whereas like it's almost like losing an arm or a leg, you know what I mean? You're like
an extension of yous, and
like I miss her, you know, and but it, even as they're getting older, you're like, again, it's that waterfall, isn't it? You're just always passing your knowledge down. Pass that knowledge down, pass that knowledge down, even although they think they know better. You're like, oh no, they know. Oh, I mean, they like, even coaching, when I coached, I used to, you know, like the kids would be like, well, even the uni students, I coached the uni students, and they were like the same. They were like, oh, this is not how you do it. And I'm like, well, when you're in class, do you tell your teacher how to teach? So why would you tell a coach how to coach? You know, and that's what kids do, isn't it? At home, they tell you how to do it, and you're like, no, I tell you, I know, like. So I do that whole thing with my daughter, where she'll tell me to do something, I'll try and get her to break it down and explain it. So explain what you've just said, and she'll be like, like I say, well, you know, work back from there. So work back from the answer that you gave me and come back to explaining how you go that, and you know, just being a dad, you know, just being an absolute pest, you know. And she goes, oh, she just leaves, walks out, and goes to her bedroom.
No, so that was pretty good, Mark. So you're working most of the time when you're younger, then. So you must have obviously know you're doing your best, not in as well. But at the same time, you did get a bit guilty as well, because I was the same myself when you weren't there. But when did things start changing? Then was there a change after that? Then was there how old was Samantha then when you came here then?
She'd have still been in single figures. I think she's about 8, maybe. She'd have been about 8, 7 or 8. Which, you know, in my opinion, is probably the best age to come. You know, like she's. It was difficult because she had a real good friend called Jade in school, and they were kind of inseparable and stuff. And then we kind of taken her away from that and brought her here. But like I feel bad as well because we've kind of moved about a lot, which hasn't helped her develop. You know, so like we've moved a few times. You know, we moved obviously from Christchurch to Auckland and then Auckland to Hamilton and stuff like that, and that, you know, that's not easy because she went to multiple different schools. So I understood that because I moved school as well. So I feel bad for that, for, you know, dragging her about and not getting her settled and stuff like that.
So
So
I realise as well, but like sometimes I'm talking about again about giving kids credit. That kids are resilient, and that's something I found because I had that worry as well of like, oh, I want settled and I don't want to be moving about. But life takes you different places, you know what I mean? And look where you are now, you're settled now, and she's got that experience of meeting new people and engaging and being in other places. It is difficult, but I wouldn't worry too much. I mean.
no, well, that's it. I mean, once they're adults, they grow up, and school's only, again, it's only a short part of your life, and
Yep.
you know, now that part's gone, and it's now the part of getting into employment. So trying to find them employment and, you know, stuff like that, and which is obviously the next big challenge, you know. So like again, life's just an uphill, and the incline just gets steeper and steeper every time, innit? So
And that's where you need a parent to kind of guide you as well and prepare you and try and give you that guidance. And but again, it's like you need to be kids need to have a wee bit of humility as well, to listen as well. And again, that's where we just need to be patient with them as well, because as you said, kids, they feel that they know everything, and it's trying to let them do it on their own and a wee bit as well. But no, life can be tough. I mean, and life is tough, and some people just can't handle responsibility because as you get older, that's when the responsibilities come in. I mean,
no, but like as a dad as well, that, you know, I try and just think in a way, like I think inside, and I'm just trying to, this whole time, John, all I've been trying to do is create a wealth that my daughter doesn't have to deal with the rubbish that I've had to deal with, you know. Like, so I've been trying to, like, especially coming from a background where you were in poverty, like I didn't know financial management, I didn't know how to deal with money, and that's what nobody teaches you. Nobody teaches you that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? So
even at school, you don't even get that.
no,
at school.
that's it. And
That's life skills right
I mean,
there.
the banks want you to be in debt because that's how they make their money.
Generate money.
That's where they want. They want you to live in minus. They want you to pay the minimum amount to your credit card. They want you to pay your mortgage off over 30 years and stuff like that. And these are the things that I've tried to educate myself so that I can create the best foundations for my daughter. You know, like if I pay off my house, and when we go, she'll get everything that we've got, and she doesn't have to have the struggles that we've had. You know, like whereas I've had to create everything, all that, to try and be able to build what we've got, and you know, like again, it was all part of the goals I set out. You know, so I'm achieving the goals as best as I can. Just now it's a little bit difficult because the interest rates and stuff have went up. But again, it's being disciplined enough to be able to put a percentage of your wages away every week and put that back in so that you can reduce your mortgage down, because, you know, like reducing your mortgage payments is huge. You know, like it's the biggest debt that you've got. So
Yep, 100%. And you were talking earlier about me, but even when you're paying that extra payment, it can take a substantial amount of years off your mortgage. Stuff that you're never taught. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. Because you just automatically think. I just saw it as like a rent payment. So I was like, oh, because my first house, I had an interest-only mortgage. And it was, I didn't realise I wasn't paying anything towards the house. I was just paying it, and I just saw it as a rent. I was just paying this amount. Oh, this is what I paid to the house. But I wasn't paying any of it off. I was just paying the interest only.
No, the principle was just all.
No, so and it wasn't until I looked back, I'm like, there was, because there's nobody gives you advice, or then like there was not at the time, and like as I said, my papa said, oh, people like us don't buy houses, and I'm like, I was the real first person to buy my own house. So I'm like, I don't know where I go, how do I go about it, and stuff like that. And you know, and none of my family had ever bought a house, so I can't ask them. And so I'm like, well, you know, we just did what we had to do to, you know,
Make it work.
to make it work. Yeah.
I think that's one thing I'd love to see in schools as well. Like kids getting taught about finances. But again, without going down the rabbit hole, schools and that, and it's all about. Well, what I believe in, I think you've touched on it as well, Mark, is that schools is there to provide workforce for the to be employees. And so they're teaching you to have money, stuff like that.
So I'm going to disagree with you straight away. Well, school is about making employees, but not entrepreneurs.
Oh, that's what I meant. That's what I said. Sorry,
there's a difference between an employee and an entrepreneur as well. Like, you want to generate your own wealth, and you'll not do that by buying an employee.
No.
So you need to be your own boss, and you can create your own wealth by being your own boss. So, I mean, like something I never did was, I didn't really read, but I wanted to start reading, so I educate myself on financial, and I read the Robert Kiyosaki and Rich Dad Poor Dad. Fantastic. If you can. If you can, buy the book and read it. But if you can't, there's other avenues out there you can get access to it and stuff. And there's stuff on YouTube and stuff as well. And then another book I bought was Barefoot Investor. And I've now bought the Sharesies book as well. And I read all these things to, again, create knowledge so that I know how to do these things. And again, that's the idea back to the podcast, is that we want to try and share what we've learned
knowledge,
so that we can pass that on. And you know, like, because I remember for me, buying my first book was a struggle. I was like, oh, I don't want to do this, you know, like you know, is this, because you never been there, and like, is this just someone want me to buy this book, and then you buy it and it's a waste of money. And you know, money was hard to come by already, and no, I know it's not. You know, like, it's you might spend £15 or $30 and you buy this book, but it can create so much more wealth for you. You know.
What was that book the guy was throwing at you? Was it maybe that one?
No, I think that was a Guinness Book of Records or something like that.
Maybe he's trying to get a subliminal message here.
That's.
But no, you're right, Mark. Knowledge is power as well, and I can't recommend enough what you're saying about reading. It's 100%, and there's nothing that nobody's ever done in life that's never been written in a book.
Well, it's not, because everybody learns different as well. So that, even if it's not reading it, buy an audiobook, because I can listen to an audiobook better, and I'd rather, like, if I'm going somewhere, I'll listen to it while I'm in the car, or I'll listen to it when I'm, you know, like, working and stuff like that. So, you know, there is other avenues, and I can take that in, because you can then rewind it and listen to it again, and rewind it. Do you rewind stuff now, or do you just click, you know,
scroll back,
rewind it?
Rewind, aye. It's the tape show talk about it.
Yeah, it's like my gran, when she was like, remember DVDs came out, she's like, I don't know how to rewind this DVD, the video shop's going to go for the head.
Just take it. No, 100%, and I agree with you about the books, man. It's a good thing to talk about as well. Like people read books, and as you said, we're lucky enough now to live in a world where we're doing audiobooks.
And that, like, it comes back to the, if you give your kids that start, if you read to them at a young age, and if you encourage them, and like, we've got friends in Christchurch, Shane and Marie, and Marie's been a fantastic mum. You know, like, I always look at out from the outside in to other families, because, like, I obviously don't feel that I had a great family growing up and stuff, so I always look into other families to see what they do and how they do things. And Marie's been fantastic. She spends so much time with her kids and all that, and you can see them blossoming, and it's really nice to see, you know, like, because she has, like, and again, I come back to the whole, today's society, you need two people working. You need the mum and the dad both working. you actually, what we need is you need somebody to be at home with the kids all the time and to give them that whole great start in life and
that encouragement or that kind of advice and just always kind of building up their confidence and allowing them to.
so and that's like, you know, that's for me looking back, that's the things I would change, you know, like if that's the question I'll ask you, John, is if you could go back in time, what would you do differently?
As a dad, probably just spent more time because one thing I did struggle with was being creative for the kids, and my way of being there with kids was literally just being there and being there for them, helping them when they need stuff. But when it came to the kind of the playing along thing, I always kind of struggled with that. So I was aware of that, but I never done anything about it. So for me, it would have been to be more creative with them and be more imaginative, because you go and embrace that, because as I said, they grow up so quick, and that goes, and I think for kids to be older, being creative and imaginative, they need that from a young age. That needs to be installed in them. And I was lucky enough that my wife was very creative with them, and she is to this day. She's pretty creative, and yeah. But again, it goes back to I was never taught that. I was never learned. I couldn't use scissors, for Christ.
No.
I did.
Chop.
I didn't.
You don't know how to work them?
No, but when I was younger, I didn't know. Obviously, probably just, I don't know, if we didn't have them or whatever. Even like stuff like the stuff you used to draw the circles, what you call a name?
A projector. I don't know.
You know what I mean? The circle
A circumference maker.
A circle creator. The one you used to put the pencil in, the sharp bit, and you draw the circle. Even that, I just wasn't installed in me at all.
Somebody's going to go nuts in the comments like, it's just the camera that makes you draw blank, doesn't it?
I literally can't remember the name of it. But no, I was never creative when younger. I was just always sporty. I was just always outdoors playing football. That was my thing. I was never an arty one or anything like that. But
it's that it's almost the passing down the knowledge as well, though. Because do you feel that your parents didn't spend that time with you to do that? And so that was the same, you know. Like, my mum wasn't academic, so you bring homework home and she'd just send you in your room to do it. So she couldn't articulate how you were supposed to do it and stuff like that. And you just get shouted if you got into trouble. So shouting really helps me and understand how that equation happened. You know, like
you know, school, but know that it's like.
But again, like, see when you come back to that, like, do you not listen in school? Again, it's the getting the fundamentals behind you, having a nice breakfast in the morning, having a a warm lunch, and having a caring environment and stuff like that. And like, if you're in that environment like that, again, you're scared to go home because like you're scared you're gonna get beaten up and stuff, and or even like if you get your homework wrong, like it's just like any excuse. So you're like when you're in school, you're worrying about stuff like that instead of concentrating on what you're supposed to be doing and stuff. And so like all these things matter, and that's what we want. Obviously, try and tell our stories to help show you that, like, if you're new to parenting, then just spend that time, read them books, break the cycle, John. Innit? Break the cycle.
100%.
And like, we've got so many learnings from being new dads that we want to be able to pass on and go, this is what we don't think we did right.
100%.
It's not that it wasn't right, it's just that we could have done it better.
Circumstantial at times, really, I suppose. But see, the thing is, the one bit of advice I could give, kids remember the small things. Like, I used to, again, when I was younger, I used to love to travel, and I always tried to give my kids good holidays, and we'd go here and go there, and then you'd speak to them when they're a bit older, and it was the wee things they remembered, like, we were away in this wee park and we went in this slide or something. It's the wee things they remember.
It's like the cardboard boxes in it. They're more interested in cardboard boxes than the actual toy that you've. But that's like, because we do that. We used to lavish our daughter in gifts at her birthday and Christmas and stuff, and Sandra's just a fantastic mum, you know, but we gave Samantha everything. Like, everything she wanted, she got it, and sometimes that's not the best thing either, you know, because that can create your own monster a little bit, because they want, they'll keep wanting, and you're like, it's not, this is, you know, like...
You teaching again the value of money and stuff like that as well, and like
The
these
value of
things
money,
cost,
that's it,
because
aye.
there comes a time when they need to stand on their own 2 feet as well, and they've if they've lived that life, it's sometimes that can be a bit of a struggle as well if they're not being able to maintain that themselves. I mean, but no, 100%. You're trying to compensate for maybe stuff that you'd wanted when you were younger, and you were never in a position to get it. I mean,
Aye, that's it.
but again, sorry, back here again. It's just kids need your time. 100%.
That's
That's
it, your
what they need,
time,
your
aye.
time.
Because you spoke about going to Florida, you took your kids to Florida, didn't you?
What a struggle! That was a struggle.
Aye.
That was one of the biggest struggles. It actually broke us as a wee bit as a family, because we literally were saving every single penny. And listen, the holiday was great. It was amazing. We had a great time and stuff. There was no denying that. But the sacrifices, was the sacrifice worth that? I don't think so. I talk to my kids about it. They know, they remember it, but it's no like their memory. They remember going and it was great and stuff like that. They remember the characters and whatever, but it's not worth it. Do you know what I mean? Live within your means. Give your kids your time. The greatest gift you can get is time, honestly. I have family members now who just want to hand kids money. And that's good, brilliant. Their kids will love that, or getting money. Put that effort in. Put that wee bit of effort in.
That's it. It's the, like, when you do get money, it's just like, because I think about it like, when people gave me money, you know, like, for your birthday and stuff, you were like, I'd pay a bill with it. You know what I mean? And that even happened when I got older. And now Sandra's more like, no, buy something for yourself. Like, buy, it's because I've always, like, if I got money, it was paid to something, like a bill that was owed, or you know, and so I never actually used it for myself. You know what I mean? I used it to just to live. And then Santa was like, no, Mark, you have to start, like, treat yourself, like, you know.
Self-care, isn't it?
That's it.
Sometimes we put, like, I know I do again personally, and I'm pretty sure you do as well, Mark, but you put everybody else first, everybody else's thoughts and feelings, and you happily spend money on your daughter, your wife, but sometimes it can be a big expense. You're like, oh, do I really need that? But sometimes you need that treat. You need to kind of give yourself that wee bit of rewards as well. I mean, because what we do, it's as much as it's hard as well being a parent and stuff like that. It's so much rewarding, and you deserve it. Something for yourself, you know?
But like, I'm kind of the opposite now, you know, like I obviously play golf and stuff, and I try and buy something because obviously my birthday's near Christmas, and I always wait to that time of year, and that's when I buy myself something golf related, you know, and whether it's a new driver or a new 3-wood, or you know, last year I got a new putter and stuff like that, and that's just a rule, isn't it? It's making new norms for yourself, isn't it? Like, I make a new norm, and that's my new norm now. I'll wait to Christmas, and I'm happy, and I'm going to get a wee gift for myself.
So what you're saying there is you actually put your birthday and Christmas together then? Is that what you're saying? No?
I put them together, because, like, if I want, like, like last year I got a putter, and I'll not say how much it was, you know, it was $900.
Sandy, alright. She does now.
I mean, $9. Just don't sell it and trade me for $8. But no, I bought, you know, this nice new putter, and you're like, I combine the two, because you know, I don't want, like, that, for me that's too much, you know, and I'm like, oh, that's my birthday and Christmas, and my birthday and Christmas next year. But anyway, I'm going to buy something else this year.
Hey, be careful, I know, because you shouldn't have to justify it. I mean, shouldn't have to break up because you're again, it's about self-worth in it as well. You're worth that. I mean, you put the effort in, you provide for your family. I mean, you got to look after yourself. You know what I mean? And 100%.
again, we talk about that life is short, and you're like, like we're important as well, so.
100%. But to look after others, you need to look after yourself, 100%.
But like, there's obviously different scenarios, and the fact that we've lived that different scenario, like, I really don't understand people that don't care for their kids, and I'll not talk about what I want to talk about, but, there's people that would rather choose working at Christmas than spending time with their kids. So they'll work at Christmas, but then spend time going and celebrating New Year with their pals. And I'm like, I can't work that out. Why would somebody consciously make that decision?
Yeah.
Because they feel that they're more important than their kids, and their kids aren't important. Especially when you're a kid, that time's massively important.
100%, that's good enough.
And some people use kids as a tool, and I just don't get that at all. Like, kids are not a tool, like, and I feel as a kid I was used as a tool as well, like, because I don't fully know the story between why I didn't get to see my dad, or if there was a block there, or why there was a block there, or I don't know any of that. So, and I know I've got a good friend, Thomas, and he's a real tough time, and he's a great guy, and he's desperate to see his son, but the mother of his son is doing everything that she can to stop him from seeing, and you're like, that's not fair. And I can see how that can have an effect on people as well. Like,
their kids are their everything.
Aye, and it's hard for a dad, because we then have to isolate ourselves from that situation. So how does, how do you deal with that? I couldn't think of my life without my daughter.
My worst nightmare. Worst nightmare.
So we shouldn't have these battles either. And like, again, people need to not use their kids as a tool. It needs to be fair. You have to be able to, and we have to bond and stuff like that. And
they're trying to help their ex-partner or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's the kid as well. The kid is getting affected. They're missing it. Do you know what I mean? And that's bullshit. It's total. It's nonsense, man. And
again, because we obviously have to bleep that out, but it does. It gets you angry, John. It gets you angry, because I've lived that life, and now I use that experience to break the cycle. Like, I'll always be there, and if she needs something, I'll always be there, and I'll always be there to protect her, and I'll always worry about her and stuff. And like, but sometimes if you were the opposite, you've got to be able to disconnect somehow, because otherwise it'll mess you up mentally as well, So,
100%.
and I can see how that can have effect, and it's tiring, because you're having to chase that all the time. You have to, like, it's constant battles to try and fight.
Aye, 100%. And in your mind constantly, and it's mentally tiring. And because you don't, that's the thing we talk about as well. I don't know if people quite understand how much your mental health affects your physical health. Because if you're not right up there, your body will see the effects of it.
So we'll come back to the mental side in a different episode, but I used to run a drill with the kids. So when I did the boys' football, what I did is I tried to burn their energy down to, like, exhaustion, and then I tried to get them to do real simple tasks. So when you're exhausted, a simple task's difficult, and it's the same mentally. It's exactly the same mentally. When you're having that mental struggle, something so simple, something so clear is very difficult. And people need to understand that as well. When you're stressed, you make absolutely the wrong decisions. And like, hopefully he's all right with me talking about it. I've got a friend, Aaron, and like, he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in business. You could tell he was stressed to the max. He's obviously in a different situation now, and his stress is gone, and he's back to being Aaron again. And I'm grateful to see my mate back. Like, but when he was stressed, you could see it, and it was having an effect on him. he was just making the wrong decisions as well because of the stress. You know, like, and you can't do nothing because you don't understand either. You know, like, so you're like you just try to be there and stuff, and
Don't know the full situation that
No,
you're just
so-
seeing that there's a difference there, and it's affecting.
So anyway, we'll come back, and again, that's all the topics we want to discuss is stress and the effects and stuff, and so we kind of retracted a wee bit, but anyway.
No, but it's all kind of, as we spoke about, it's just how we became fathers and how it affected us and what we'd like. And I think we got that out there, and we added a wee bit extra, so it was a wee bonus.
No, that's it. But again, yeah, the thing is you never not a dad. Once you're a dad, you're always a dad, and you know, like this is just obviously my opinion, because not everyone acts the same way. But when you're a dad, like, I'll always be my daughter's dad. You know, like, if she needs anything, then, you know, like, and I'll always be there to give her advice. And the more I grow, the more I learn, the more I can pass down and pass on to my daughter, and you know, so.
Brilliant.
Because I'm grateful for Ronnie, you know, the guru. He passes his knowledge down to me, and you know, so. So have you got any positive influences in your life, like from a dad point of view, or like who did you kind of look up to when you were younger?
Gosh, man, I'm expecting that, to be fair. I can't think top of my head, no, not really. Maybe just as I was maybe getting to my kind of teenage years, I kind of see my friends' families and how they were living, and even when I met my wife again as well, when I kind of managed to meet her parents and stuff like that, and how they were living. Just, I don't know if that's father figure or just a family collectively, you know what I mean? But father figures, not really, no, unfortunately, no.
No.
Not somebody I was aspiring to be anyway. There was obviously kind of male figures in my life, but that wasn't how I parented my kids. I mean, I was never one for screaming and bawling and stuff like that. No, I was more a let's talk about it approach, you know what I mean?
So like I've got, you know, like I've looked up to a lot of people in my life. You know, one was my papa. You know, like, you know, he was my idol growing up. You know, and he fought in the Korean War and stuff, and as a young age, and he'd obviously his demons because of what he had gone through. You know, like I think of my daughter being 19, he was fighting in Korea, having to jump out a plane and stuff at the same age, and watching his mates getting blown up and stuff like that, and you're like, what an experience that would have been at that age. You know, like imagine having to deal with that your whole life. You know, and I like always, like, obviously he had his own struggles and stuff, but my papa wouldn't do anything for anyone. But I'd come in and, you know, he'd be like, I'll make you a cup of tea, and so he'd make me a tea, and he'd come through with 2 cups, and my gran's like, well, where's my tea? And he'd be like, I'll make you anything. And like, my papa did that for nobody, but he did it for me, you know, so I used to always look up to my papa, you know, because, I don't know, there was just a little bond there between him and I, and, you know, came out in the wash eventually, but he was a blue nose, and I'm not. And
You're not, buddy.
and he, you know, like, I was about the only one he allowed to come into his house, you know, with a certain colour top on, you know what I mean? So, but even, like, I call him Uncle Tommy as well, so, like, I've aspired to be kind of Uncle Tommy. I've watched what he's done, and I've really looked up to him, and, you know, he always had a nice new car and stuff, and I was always in awe of that. Like, and he would buy it cash, you know, and I'm like, how does anyone amass that kind of money to be able to buy a car cash? You know what I mean? And but he would, you know, he used to come through for his dinner every Monday or Tuesday, and he'd sit and we'd get through all the quizzes and stuff like that, and he'd help you with your homework and stuff like that, and I appreciated stuff like that. as a young boy, you know what I mean, and he had a caravan down in Maidens, and we would go there, and like I loved that, you know, like that was a really good time in my life, you know, like you always remember that. And then I've got, you know, like we've got my papa's friend Sandy Chalmers in Stonehaven. He's great. He's got a farm up in Aberdeen, and he would build an extension and stuff. And I was just like, how can you be able to do that? And I just watch. I watch and I take it in. Like I was just a sponge, and I just want to take it all in. And that's again what the podcast, because I want to try and get other people on who've came from nothing, who've done stuff, you know, and because I want to take their knowledge as well. I want to grow. I want to get better. I want to improve everything I do, and then
agree.
again pass that knowledge down. Like I want to be able to pass on my knowledge, and I don't want to charge anybody for it. Here, look, it's here. Just like, follow, share, subscribe. It's free to do it, but it helps us out, doesn't it? It helps us be able to pass that knowledge down.
It helps us and it helps others. So it's like, to help us, help others.
But I mean, the biggest influence is Ronnie for me. You know, like he's had a lot of upset in his life and a lot to deal with, and I just watch him and I think, gee, I don't know how he's dealt with the last 10 to 15 years of his life. You know, and it's been a difficult road for him, and like I phone him every day, you know, make sure he's all right, and I phone him up, and you know I like hearing from him and stuff like that. And it's things that no one does nowadays, isn't it? No, they just don't talk. They don't phone. They don't talk. They, you know, and it's before you know it, it's gone, and you're like, I wish. I don't want that. I wish, you know. So.
Yeah, don't want to be regretting as well, do you, and stuff like that.
No.
100%, man. Yeah, wow. That's amazing. I just wanted to touch back actually what you said there, and I think it's a good comment you made as well about being a sponge, because that's what kids are. They're sponges. They actually absorb everything.
They take it on,
and there's never a better time to learn it than when you're younger, and you're that sponge. And that's why kids need that guidance when they're younger and to learn, because you're installing in them then stuff that they're not even aware of. Because unfortunately we get stuff installed to us that we weren't aware of and that we're still carrying, that we're still carrying with me today. And I know, what kids are sponges, and that's, I like that one. I like that comment you made there.
The waterfalls and the sponges.
Now you're familiar.
But I mean, even Sandra's dad. I look at Sandra's dad, and he's fantastic. You know, he helped us greatly when we came here. You know, like again, we came with nothing, and we'll talk more about coming to New Zealand. That'll be like a whole different episode, a whole maybe series, maybe, because that's massive. And but even the support that they gave us coming here, you know, like Sandra's dad gives a credit card, you know, and he's like, if you ever need something, use the credit card, you know, and it was that support. Like I never had that from anyone else. You know what I mean? Like no one gave me anything. That like, and it's something I actually struggle with now, John. And I'd never been given anything. Like I've never been really given anything, and I struggle to receive. You know, so when people actually do give me something, I don't know how to react to it because I've never been given. You know. And sometimes you feel almost a little bit offensive that they've gave you something, because you're like, oh, you know, I don't want it, like, you know what I mean? Because I just don't know how to receive it, you know, like, and you don't know what's meant by it, but most of the time it's genuinely good, you know. And yeah, like I just struggle with that part. So.
Oh, 100%. I totally agree with that. Like, it's just when people try and offer help, I'm just always like I'll pay for that, but it's no, people want to do things at the kindness of their heart, and they want to be supportive, and it's just again, it's what you've learned. It's what we never got stuff. We weren't given stuff. We weren't the silver spoon you talk about and stuff. We weren't in that position, and when people do offer you things, it's hard to receive, and I totally appreciate what you're saying with that, because I'm the same.
But we'll touch on all these different subjects as well. So
100%.
again, we're still dads, and we're always going to be learning. You're always learning, John. I mean,
100%.
your sponge isn't even half full, so
No.
we're still learning. We're still taking in. So again, if I get a few of the audience have got something you want to add and anything you've seen, put a comment. Tell us. You know, like we want to learn as well. Like everything's learning. If there's something that you've done that you think will help us out, and we can talk about it in here, we'll talk about it on here as well. And
It's all knowledge, isn't it?
it's all knowledge. That's it. So I'm like, you know, like the easiest thing in the world to do is criticise. Absolutely, the easiest thing in the world to do is criticise. What to do is write something positive. Write something in the comments that you think that we could do to improve. Instead, you know, and think about it. Think about what you're going to say and say, right, well, let's maybe improve this. And, you know, like, because these things say, oh, that's rubbish. Well, what's rubbish about it? What can you improve about it? You know, and that's what I've learned, because that's the way, again, it's the lack of education that creates that kind of comment in it. And it's just like, articulate something better, be constructive about it, and like, follow, share, and subscribe. Hit that smash, that like button.
Yeah. So, Mark, is there anything you'd like to add? Are you quite happy with that one?
No, that's it. Aye, thanks for watching, and
No, thank you.
we'll see you on the next one.
See you next one.
You'll be glad you watched John and Mark bubbling lads. Uncomfortable around on the podcast dads. Just watching smart lads, dedicated dads. Real guys, frank guys, your life on storytelling guys. Real living guys in conversation every other day. Just watch them right up your alley, so bring a little ray of light into your day. I ain't ashamed to say I like them. John and Mark capture everyday challenges in a relaxed manner every other day. Searching life stories, blood talking, hellish feelings daily. Exploring ugly living snakes of the world. It's a devious old world, the game of life worth exploring. Sweat, dripping, talk, awkward talk, life stories. Articulate in a sophisticated way, yet naive in an ordinary way. Really glad you watch John and Mark bubbling lads. Uncomfortable around them, the podcast dads. Just watch some smart lads, dedicated dads. Real guys, right guys, real life and storytelling guys. Real living guys in conversation every other day. Just watch them right up your alley, so bring a little ray of light into your day. I ain't ashamed to say I like them. John and Mark capture everyday challenges in a relaxed manner every other day. Searching life stories, blood talking, hellish feelings daily. Exploring ugly living snakes of the world. It's a devious old world, the game of life worth exploring. Sweat, dripping, talk, awkward talk, life stories. Articulate in a sophisticated way, yet naive in an ordinary way. John and Mark capture everyday challenges in a relaxed manner every other day. Searching life stories, blood talking, hellish feelings daily. Exploring ugly living snakes of the world. It's a devious old world, the game of life worth exploring. Sweat, dripping, talk, awkward talk, life stories. Articulate in a sophisticated way, yet naive in an ordinary way.